Good morning, Year 6. It is Tuesday the 12th of May, and today we're looking at ratio and proportion problems, so tying in all of your learning that you've done the last couple of weeks. So our first anchor question is true or false? I need 50 grams of flour for every 10 grams of sugar. Okay, so that's a statement. So if I have 600 grams of ingredients, I will have 500 grams of flour. So straight away, I'm going to put it into a ratio of 50 grams of flour to 10 grams of sugar. So what do we need to do when we have a ratio? We need to add the ratio together. So 50 add to 10 is 60. So we can see there 60 is our total. Okay, for every part we have 60. So one part is 60. Okay, so then looking at if I have 600 grams of ingredients, I will have 500 grams of flour. So with our calculation here, 50 add 10 equals 60. We know that's one part. So if I've got 600 grams of flour, 600 grams of ingredients, I need 500 grams of flour. Is that correct? Well, I can see here, if I was to times this by 10, I would get 600 equals 600. Okay, so 600 grams. I would then be able to see that 600 grams is total to our ingredients. And then here, if I was just to times these by 10 and 10, I would have 500 grams of flour to 100 grams of sugar. So it is correct. It is true. Okay, first question. Just going to have a quick look at this flashback 4. So it's the second day. So 4 questions and tell the time as well. So tell your little brother or sister or your mum or dad the time that's on the screen. So for every 3 pens Alex has, she has 4 pencils. Alex has 12 pencils. How many pencils does she have? What is the ratio of triangles to squares? Question 2. Question 3. How many kilograms is 2.5 tons? That's a very tricky question. You may need to do some research around that. And which of these are square numbers? Okay, so I'm just going to play the video now, and this will help you with your learning.
Hello there again. We're going to start off with the flashback 4 again. So have a go at the questions, pause the video, and we'll come back together in a second. How did you get on? Let's have a look at question number 1. For every 3 pens Alex has, she has 4 pencils. Alex has 12 pens. How many pencils does she have? Well, I can see the relationship between 3 and 12 is a factor of 4 larger. So I'm going to do the same to the pencils. So a factor of 4 larger than 4 pencils would be 16 pencils. Number 2. What is the ratio of triangles to squares? Well, I can see for every 3 squares, there are 2 triangles. But the question is asking, what's the ratio of triangles to squares? So that would be 2 to 3. Question 3. How many kilograms is 2.5 tons? Well, if 1 ton is 1,000 kilograms, 2 tons is 2,000 kilograms, half a ton would be 500 kilograms. So together would be 2,500. Number 4. Which of these are square numbers? The one you may have missed may have been number 1. Remember, 1 times 1 is 1, 4 times 4 is 16, 7 times 7 is 49. The time on the clock is 5:30. We're going to start thinking now about putting some of the learning we've done about ratio and proportion into practice. So we've got a recipe for soup here. It serves 4 people. It needs an onion, 3 carrots, 10 grams of cheese and 400 ml of water. I don't recommend making this soup, but it's just for a little problem today. So the question asks, this recipe for soup serves 4 people. How much of each ingredient would I need for 8 people? If you want to have a go for yourself before we have a go together, that's absolutely fine. Pause the video. If not, we're going to carry on together. If 1 onion serves 4 people, then blank onions would serve 8 people. Well, I can see that 1 onion would fit 4 people. So therefore, 2 onions would give another 4 people. 1 onion, 4 people. 2 onions, 8 people. So if 1 onion serves 4 people, then 2 onions would serve 8 people. We're going to think about this using a ratio table now. I can see from my ratio I've got 1 onion to 4 people. And if I have double the amount of onions, I could serve twice the amount of people. What about this one? If I can serve 12 people, how many onions would I need? Well, the relationship between 4 people and 12 people is 3 times as many. So I need 3 times as many onions, which would be 3. What about this one? If 1 onion serves 4 people, which is 4 times as many, then it could serve 4 times as many people. So I'd be able to have 16 people served. It's not the only one it could have, though. I could have worked out a different way. I may have looked at this one. From 2 onions to 4 onions, I can see that's twice as many. I can see that would also serve twice as many people. So from 8 to 16 being twice as much. What about this one? Pause the video, have a go yourself. How did you get on? Let's look at the first one. If 3 carats serves 4 people, how many carats will be served by 8 people? Well, hopefully you saw that was twice as much. So that will be able to get 6 carats would serve 8 people. What about this one? I can see that for 3 times as many people, I would need 3 times as many carats. So I would need 9 carats. This last one was a bit trickier. I don't know how many people I'm going to serve, but I know I need 18 carats. So then I'm noticing the relationship between 3 and 18, which is 6 times as many. So I need to think about the same for the amount of people. 4 times 6 is 24. Okay. How much of each ingredient would I need for 1 person? Again, if you want to pause the video, have a go for yourself, that's absolutely fine. If not, we're going to carry on. So then, if 1 onion serves 4 people, how much onion is needed for 1 person? Well, 1 person, if I can visualize splitting that onion into 4 equal parts for each person would need 1/4 of an onion. Okay, what about this one? How much carrot is needed for 1 person? If 3 carats is enough for 4 people, how much is needed for 1 person? Pause the video, have a go yourself. How did you get on? Well, I can see that I can visualize this by splitting it into 4 parts. We knew from before that 1 onion split between 4 people gave me 1/4. So in this case, I've got 3 carats between 4 people. I'm thinking about division relationship. 3 divided by 4. That's the same as 3/4. So each person would need 3/4 of a carat. How much of each ingredient would I need for 12 people? Pause the video, have a go yourself. Let's have a look then. How did you get on? So we can see that I could almost compare the 2 recipes next to each other. So I can see that I would need 3 times as much of each ingredient. So I would multiply each ingredient by 3. So I would need 3 onions, 9 carrots, 30 grams of cheese, and 1,200 millilitres of water. Okay, pause the video, have a go at questions 1 to 3. Ooh, a story, here we go. For a school trip, there are 7 students for every 1 teacher. Ignore the fact they haven't got any bodies. If 40 people are on the trip, how many teachers and students are there? Okay, we'll represent this using some counters. A red counter represents a teacher, a yellow counter represents a student. So I've got my relationship here, 1 teacher to 7 students. So 1 teacher to 7 students, giving me a total of 8 people. We want to think about having 40 people. Let's carry this on. Let's add another teacher. So we'll have to add another 7 students. 2 teachers, now 14 students. How many is that in total? 16 people. Let's add another lot. Now 3 teachers, 21 students. So in total, 24 people. It might help if you're working this through to calculate and write down all the times you're doing it so you can see any patterns forming. Let's add another one. Another teacher, another 7 students. So now I have 4 teachers and 28 students, giving me 32 people. Let's add another teacher. I've got 5 teachers and 35 students. 5 and 35 is 40. Okay, I've worked it out. So for 40 people, there will be 5 teachers and 35 students. Let's get rid of the teachers for a second. In 35 students, there are 2 boys to every 3 girls. How many boys are on the trip? Pause the video, have a go yourself. How did you get on with that one? Let's think for ourselves now. So in the 35 students, there are 2 boys to every 3 girls. I wonder if I can see that anywhere. Let's take just a 5. If I think of the 5 students, 2 of them will be boys, 3 of them will be girls. Could I repeat this pattern? 2 boys to every 3 girls. If I think of those 5s, I can see that for every 2, there'll be 3. Okay, now I can work it out then. If the purple represents the boys and the yellow represents the girls, I can see that there would be 14 boys and 21 girls. There's my answer. Okay, pause the video, have a go at the rest of the worksheet.
So the worksheet is now on the website and been emailed to you. And also remember to log on to Learning by Questions to complete some more ratio and proportion problems. Good luck!